Welcome back to Books with Beck. I'm Beck. Let's talk books. Good morning. It is a beautiful Sunday morning, and I thought it would be the perfect day to go thrifting. So come along and go book thrifting with me. All right, I am currently parked outside of my favorite Goodwill to go book shopping at, and my very first tip is going to be the reason I'm here at 8:57 in the morning. My number one tip is to get here at opening. So the reason it's important to get here at opening is because they will have just restocked the shelves. Since they have just restocked, there's going to be more new releases. There's going to be more trending books, things that didn't get grabbed up yesterday. Now, the reason this is so important is because majority of the time in the mornings, who's shopping at Goodwill are resellers. So people who are just scanning the books on Amazon to see what they can resell it for. Now, I want to get the books before them. And the cool thing is that because I know what's on my to be read, I can scan the shelves and actually see what I want while they're spending time scanning each book. So if you get here very, very early in the morning, you're able to see that a little bit faster. Now, before we go inside, I do have one other tip. You never go into Goodwill without hand sanitizer. And remember while you're in there to not touch your face. I have been shopping at thrift stores my entire life. Majority of the things I've owned in my life have been from thrift stores. So by no means are thrift stores dirty or gross or anything like that. But it's just common practice when you're dealing with used items is to just make sure you're being safe in case there's any allergens or anything like that. Now, I do see people lining up at the door and I only have 1 minute. So I'm going to go ahead and put on some hand sanitizer just to start the day. I'm going to head inside. While I am looking here today, I am only shopping for my trophies. And the reason for this is because my bookshelf is pretty full, but I'm needing some of those trophy items. Now you may ask, Becca, why do you thrift all your books? Why don't you just buy the books? Straight up, I'm a teacher. Like, I don't have the money to buy all of the books that I read new and brand new. Books can be $20, $30 now. But I also have a really strong emotion towards thrifting just because I grew up with my family thrifting, and that's how I was able to get the things that I needed. And so now that I do have the luxuries of going and buying things full price, it's still the thought process that everything I've ever owned still exists out in the world. So I think just, for me, it's so much more rewarding when I can buy the book I want thrifted than whenever I have to go buy it full price, which I still do. I still do buy things full price, but this is just so much more rewarding and fulfilling. And it's kind of like a little scavenger hunt when I'm looking for trophies because I have to find the things that I've already read rather than just picking up new books. So it is 9 o'clock. Let's go. I just got done, and I won't lie, this was a little bit of a bust trip, but I'm still happy with what I found. I'll go ahead and do a quick haul, I guess. I got this kind of like drop shoulder sweatshirt. It's nice blue. These are my school colors, so I figured I'd grab it. I bought this, and now I'm kind of thinking I shouldn't have. This is my sorority, so I kind of wanted to get it, but I'm realizing it has like some spots and things. So I'm gonna run it through the wash, and if it doesn't work, I guess it can just be kind of like a, I don't know, around the house shirt. I did get 2 books, but they're not books that were for me. They're for my students because I'm collecting this series. So anytime I see one that I don't have, I grab it. But I did not find any books for me, which was kind of a bummer. So I'm headed to my next location. I think the key with thrifting is that you have to just keep going. I was in there for an hour, and this is all I found. It takes a long time. Like, you have to devote time to thrifting, but also, like, it's therapeutic. You know, you get to shop and look. Oh my gosh, you know what I forgot? Okay, excuse the sweat on my brow. I realized that I had picked up a slip to buy a piece of furniture, and then I don't know where it went. And I was like digging around. I went up to the cash register and she had it. She said that I dropped it. So I went ahead and I bought that piece of furniture, and I'm so excited. I'll show you a clip of it right here. I am so excited about this because I need a new bookshelf, but the space downstairs where my bookshelves are, there's not enough space. So this is perfect to just stand right next to it, and I can like showcase books kind of like floating, and it was only $20. I'm gonna come back with my husband and see if we can fit it in this teeny tiny car. But so even though I didn't get books, like, this is still a really good book thrift because I found something for my books. So we're off to our next location officially now, and I will let you know what I find. Okay, I just left the Lost and Found Youth thrift store, and I didn't get anything. The book selection was really, really small, but I definitely think this is where I want to start donating to, because all of their proceeds go to help LGBTQIA youth. So I thought that was really nice. However, yeah, book selection here is not great, but the furniture selection was crazy. So I'll be back, just not for books. Okay, I just left another Goodwill, and this one was even worse. The selection was non-existent. I have been avoiding driving the long drive to the like best thrift store. 16 minutes away from where I'm at, so I think I'm gonna head over there. I'm probably gonna regret it because it's such a long drive, but hopefully we'll find some good stuff. These illustrated copies of Harry Potter so badly, but spending $60 on these books was not in the plan for today. Okay, as you can see, we are back at home. I just had some stuff come up. I kind of had to just get home. I did still want to show you what I got while I was at the Southern Thrift Market. That book selection is insane. However, today was still kind of a dud. I did not find a single trophy book, and it was just kind of upsetting. I don't know. I expected a little bit more today, but that's okay. It happens. This is part of thrifting, is some days you have great finds, sometimes you don't. So probably my next time I will find a ton of stuff. But I did find some stuff off of my to be read that was at Southern Thrift Market. So I found Meet Me at the Lake by Carly Fortune. And then I also found My Vampire Plus One by Jenna Levine. This one I've been seeing everywhere. It wasn't technically on my list, but this one was on my list. People have said that the setting description is amazing and it really feels like you're there and it's summertime. So got those two books and I am excited about it. That is it. Sometimes this is what happens when you go book thrifting. You don't find anything, but I did find that shelf. So we're going to go ahead and set that up right now. Okay, so as you can see on this wall, I have two bookshelves already and they are full. I'm already having to fill up the top, but I have this gap by the stairwell. It's not quite big enough for another shelf, but I think it's perfect for this little guy. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and park it right there, clean it off real quick, and then we're gonna load it up full of books. Oh my gosh, that was actually like insanely clean, especially from the thrift store. So I'm just gonna use this extra wipe to clean up my actual bookshelf because I think it's a little dusty today. Okay, I think that's like the perfect spot for it. It's just enough space to where there's still like some space in between by the stairs, but then it's kind of hides the wires that are right here. I'm excited. Now, I don't exactly know what type of books I'm gonna put on this. Part of me thinks it would be really cool to have like a TBR shelf, but I don't know if I have this many to be reads. I also think it would be cool to just do all my paperbacks. That way I can like free up a few shelves. But I do think I want this like full because I think it looks better to have an empty shelf than this empty like tower, because I feel like this looks like a CD rack when it's empty. So we're gonna play around with it and We shall see. All right, now even though these books are technically on my TBR, they cannot go on the shelf yet today because since these are thrifted books, these have to be frozen. And if you've watched my channel, you probably heard me say this before. Books are gross, honestly. Bookworms are real, book mites are real, and freezing them is the best way to get rid of them in like a short amount of time. So obviously I already did page checks. You should always check the pages of your books to make sure that there's no like dents or anything like that, because that can typically point to bookworms. And if I look through here, I can see that there's no holes in the pages. So typically if a book does have bookworms, there will be kind of holes and like chunks missing out of the books. So all of these look nice, otherwise I wouldn't have bought them, but you can never be too careful. So freezing them in the freezer for like 24 hours tends to take care of any of the grossness that is in there. Now, you really don't want your books to get wet while they're in the freezer, so I always just take the bag that they gave me when I thrifted them, tie it up really nice, and then toss them in the freezer for 24 hours. So then tomorrow, these books can be officially added to my shelf. The more I stare at this, the more I don't want to do a TBR shelf because I really like having everything sorted by genre, and it's like the perfect amount right now. So I think what I'm going to do is just take all of my... what do I want to do? I think I do want to clear up this very, very bottom shelf, which you cannot see, but it's all of our cookbooks. So I feel like if I do our cookbooks starting at the bottom, since they're really big, it'll almost kind of like taper in. So yeah, I think I'm going to do the cookbooks. And then after that, I don't know. I'm going to start with cookbooks though. About the shelf and I kind of hate it, so I don't know. I mean, it's really nice to see like everything that's on my to be read because holy crap, but I hate the way it looks. Like I feel like they look so much better just on the shelf. So let me know what I should do. Should I just scrap the whole idea and cut my loss, get rid of the shelf? Should I organize it by color? I know normally I would not do that, but maybe on here that would look nice to do like the fade going up and down. Should I organize it by size? Do you like it how it is? Like, am I crazy? I just feel like it looks so bad. Like, it just looks like it's there. You know what I mean? It doesn't look like a nice shelf of books. I really think I regret buying this shelf. However, now that I've done this, like, I have 2 pretty much empty shelves to work with. So I could just fill those shelves, like once I've read them, put them over here and reorganize them by genre again. But yeah, I think I kind of hate it. Let me know in the comments what your thoughts are. I may just scrap the whole idea. I'll show you what the shelves look like. Sorry, there's dust flying everywhere since I moved everything around. I'll show you what everything looks like now so you can see like maybe what you think. So this is what it looks like all together when you're standing back. And I don't think it looks bad per se. I just don't think it looks good. Maybe I'm overthinking it because obviously I'll fill it up tomorrow when those books come out of the freezer to go up to that top of it. So yeah, I don't know. I do know that my Peace Lily is being extremely dramatic. She's fine. She's literally watered all the time. She thinks she's dying, but she's not. So yeah, all that to say, I regret all of my decisions and Primrose loves it. So I'm gonna have to deal with that now too. Okay, so I still have my specialty edition and I guess those are just kind of run off of fantasy. There's all my fantasy up there. I have all my book of the month and then the Bridgerton series. I have romance fading into literary fiction, fading into historical fiction. And technically this Jodi Picoult book is on my to be read. It was just kind of like too big for the shelf. This beautiful thing is a copy of Manacled that my husband printed and bound and put together. All I have to do is make the foil for the cover. So once the cover's there, it'll look so pretty. So I just went ahead and outfaced it. And then right here, we have what's left of literary fiction, fantasy, dystopian, and then a little bit of thriller. So it looks fine. And then I have my pretty shelf. I can confidently say Primrose loves the changes that we've made. However, I kind of hate them. So I'm not sure how to feel. I need some feedback, but nice feedback. Don't be mean or I will cry, okay? Yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't say today was a successful thrifting day, but I did have fun. I visited probably 5 thrift stores and I came home with 4 books. I don't think I've ever come home with so few books when I've gone out shopping, but somehow I feel like when you're filming, everything just does not go as planned. So that is what it is. But I did give you some good tips today, I hope. I stand by the fact that you need to take care of the cleanliness of your thrifted books just because that can be an issue. And also think about my bookshelf, right? Even though I'm not loving it right now, book shopping doesn't always have to stay limited to the book section. And remember to always check those end caps because they hide books on those end caps based on like color, which is so annoying. So check the end caps, bring hand sanitizer, check the furniture section. Honestly, sometimes I check like the shirt section because sometimes there's reading sweatshirts. Bookish thrifting can be such a wide range of things, and it's just so much fun because you're getting to bring in like the love of thrifting and the love of books into kind of like a common thing, which is nice. Now, there were tons of really, really good books at the thrift store today, but since I'm restricting myself to trophies, that's kind of why I only came home with 4 books. Now, you may say, oh, well, why don't you get some new books? I did. I got 2 new books, and I didn't need them because this is my to-be-read shelf. I did not need them. I have a problem. But, you know, I stand by the fact that buying books and reading books is 2 separate hobbies. And I enjoy both hobbies. So I will not apologize for that. There are more harmful hobbies out there in the world, okay? Now that I'm looking at it, I really do want to count how many books are on this TBR. And keep in mind, this doesn't even include my online TBR. And there are some books still on the shelf that I have not read, but I left them over there because they are book of the month. So I'm going to count like all of my to-be-read books. There are some books on here that are not on my to-be-read list because they're my husband's and I don't want to read them. Like, I don't want to read Red Rising. I don't want to. If that's the wrong decision, let me know, but I don't want to. So I'm going to count what's actually on my TBR list and we'll see how many I have. Oh my gosh, I forgot this shelf. Wait. I fear my TBR list, just physical, is 57 books. So there's a reason I'm only shopping for trophies today. However, it could be worse, right? Let me know in the comments how many books are on your TBR list that you actually own, like your TBR pile, I guess you could say. Because I have hundreds of books on my TBR, but what's in your TBR pile? Oh my God, I have a problem. But look, I have 2 open shelves. I'm gonna go shopping. You know, these open shelves are such a blessing though because there are so many new releases coming out this year that I'm gonna need to buy. So now I have space for them. So I'm gonna convince myself that this shelf was a good purchase. It's 20 bucks. I feel like, you know, 20 bucks. I've spent more on meals. So please be nice, but let me know in the comments if I should keep it or if I should throw it away. I have so much buyer's remorse, but that's typical for me. So it is what it is. I'm going to go ahead and wrap this video up. I think this was a really good day of thrifting. Even when I don't buy something, it's just nice to be able to spend time shopping for books and kind of like perusing. And honestly, like I get emotional when I'm thrifting because when you're thrifting books, you can go through and flip and look for inscriptions and see like when people are given books and things like that. It's also really nice to see like how well loved certain books are. Now personally, those aren't the ones I go for because I like it to look new, but just to see like broken spines and frayed edges and folded corners to know that somebody loved a book makes it so much more fun than going to a bookstore because, you know, at a bookstore, everything's perfect and brand new. Everything has a fresh slate versus at a thrift, you get to see the love that a book has had. So I know, cheesy little me, but books are my love, so I get a little emotional about it. Overall today, I believe I spent $8.12. So a very, very cheap day. I got 2 books for my classroom, 2 books for myself. All of them are going in the freezer right now. We are going to stay safe and keep all of our books safe. This is your friendly reminder to thrift books as often as you can instead of buying brand new. I will see you next time on Books with Beck. Love you, bye.
Book Husband here. Like and subscribe. Love you. Bye.